Welcome everybody to Git Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs and nerds to enjoy. I am a host with the most, Will Buchanan, and if I can find words today, that would be awesome. And peep the shirt. You know, your boy finally has a shirt. I have to thank my girlfriend Kelly for this because Little Creations by Kelly on Facebook. She's the one that actually did my shirt, and I'm not trying to post my chest out because I just got through doing legs, and right now everything's questionable from the waist down. Pause. Aside from that, guys, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful. Well, first and foremost, I want to take myself off mute first. This show's already going off swimmingly. So for any of this, first and foremost, let me welcome you to Git Bit Podcast because apparently I had the mute button on for like the last 2 minutes. I apologize. And I just want to say, guys, like I said before, if we're still dealing with the weather right now, so hopefully wherever you are safe, you are dry, you are warm. But let's do a little bit of news, kind of distract ourselves, get away from life for a little bit. At least that's what I try to do. So, first bit of news I have is a little bit near and dear to my heart because I am a Legend of Zelda fan. And more so that the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, if you guys remember that from Nintendo Wii, is actually going to be playable on the Switch. I cannot tell you guys how much I am looking forward to this because the fact of Nintendo and because of the fact of Zelda games being sparse across the board, I always wanted to get a Switch just because I love Nintendo and didn't really get a Wii. I didn't really get a Wii. I did get a Wii U, and of course the library kind of died after a while, and really was on the fence about getting a Switch until I realized that I can almost play every Zelda game almost. Because they still haven't announced some other games, which I think is going to be coming down the pipe. Because I still want to play Breath of the Wild. I know a lot of Zelda fans are going to go, you never played Breath of the Wild? Hey, I'm an adult. Unfortunately. There's some things I just got to take care of first before I get to video games. But trust me, after seeing Breath of the Wild, and like I said before, Breath of the Wild, still needing to play Twilight Princess, still needing to play Skyward Sword, trust me, and especially I need to get on Breath of the Wild since Breath of the Wild 2 has already been announced and it's not too far off from where we're probably going to see trailers for it. I get it. I understand it. But Skyward Sword is coming to Nintendo, which means that practically every Zelda game will be coming to the Switch, which gives me all the more reason in the world to finally get a Switch and be done with it. But again, I'm just looking forward to it, honestly. Aside from that, there is some other news. Which I'm kind of happy about because Marvel has finally gotten the Netflix rights of The Punisher, Jessica Jones, which were the last two. Keep in mind, Marvel already had the rights to Iron Fist, Daredevil, and Luke Cage, which means that basically the Netflix version of Marvel's Defenders are now back under the rights of Marvel. What does that mean? Really, I'm hoping that means that we are actually going to see continuations because with Marvel and everything else, I had nothing against it. I actually liked it. I was really for it. Just for the simple fact of the matter, guys, that again, Jessica Jones was actually a great series on Netflix. The Punisher definitely was. Daredevil was. Luke Cage was. And Iron Fist. Now, Iron Fist, let's kind of be honest. Iron Fist, that first season was a little shaky. But the second season, I think, made up for it, personally. I personally think the second season of Iron Fist was a little bit stronger than the first season. And I hope, and I said, and this is just my hope, because right now, as you can tell what's showing there, none of the original actors and actresses that were in those roles have yet to actually be confirmed as of right now. Although we did hear rumors of Charlie Cox, who plays Netflix's Marvel's Daredevil, was on scene for shooting the untitled Spider-Man movie, along with, of course, possibly allegedly having Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, along with Tom Holland and a list of other characters who are still going to be in the untitled Spider-Man movie. Now, am I hoping? Like I said before, Marvel at this point can honestly do no wrong. Because a lot of us, like I said, for the adult side, we did like the adult telling. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, and feel free in the comments to say what you guys thought. I like the adult telling of the Defenders. I like the direction of Daredevil. I like the direction of Jessica Jones. I love the direction of Luke Cage. I love the direction of Iron Fist in the second season, because that first season, a little rough. That first season was a little rough. But I still believe, after all said and done, I think Marvel can honestly bring back those series, which I hope that they do, just because the simple fact of the matter, they're really gold. They're gold, and I think they can really run with it. So we're going to keep our eyes open on that, because like I said before, there's also another part I want to talk about, which will be with WandaVision, which will kind of be near the end, because like I said, we really don't have a lot to go over in this podcast this week. But like I said, I'm just excited that Marvel actually has those rights again, which tells me that they might in some capacity be bringing back the Defenders, whether in television series or in movies. With the MCU, it's honestly endless as far as where they can go. But speaking of other things that you guys should actually be looking forward to, Sonic the Hedgehog. If you guys don't remember, Sonic the Hedgehog is now available on streaming services, specifically Hulu and Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime or you have Hulu, you can watch Sonic the Hedgehog right now as it is streaming. I actually went and saw this movie in theaters and loved it. Now keep in mind, this is the same Sonic the Hedgehog that a lot of people, myself included, weren't exactly hyped about the first viewing of Sonic. And it took a lot of, I won't say bullying, because bullying is such a strong word, but I think the mob, if you will, the mob of fans, because let's be honest, when it comes to Sonic and Mario and all the classic characters we grew up with, we do tend to get a little bit defensive, and you would think in this world of technology and cinematics and just really being able to do things in a sharper and more defined image, the first view of Sonic was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a letdown. And of course now, in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, it was definitely good. And honestly, Jim Carrey, and I said this before, Jim Carrey stole the movie for me. Just because if there was anybody that's going to play Eggman or Dr. Robotnik, depending on where you got introduced to him and depending on your age, for me it was Dr. Robotnik on the Sega Genesis, but still, stole the show for me. And I'm actually looking forward to that. Like I said, I love the fact that because there is already been announced that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie is coming. We definitely know Tails is going to be a part of it just from the moniker. And it is rumored that it might have Knuckles in it. Now, that is a rumor, and you can take that with a grain of salt. I'm personally looking forward to it just because, again, Sonic the Hedgehog was a great movie, and I'm pretty sure 2 is going to be the same. Okay, now with that being said, now I'm going to get into the part to where it's going to be a little bit, I'm going to be honest, guys. I do my best when it comes to DC. I am a DC fan. I love DC 1, Marvel 2nd. That being said, we do have to talk about, I'm trying to remain as impartial as humanly possible, but it's not working out very well. We do have to talk about the Zack Snyder Justice League, because the trailer did come out on Valentine's Day, and if you haven't seen it, here it is.
The bell's been rung. Out in the dark, among the stars, the god is dead.
I had a dream. Almost like a premonition. I think there's an attack coming.
fall.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
It will. It has to.
We live in a society where honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right, Batman?
Okay. We're gonna talk about it. I know a lot of people, because like I said, I hear it on Twitter too. It's like, oh, well, you just don't like Zack Snyder. Well, I've already explained my reasons. I don't think he's that great of a director. I still say Man of Steel was borderline decent. I still say Batman vs. Superman was a dumpster fire. I still say his first shot at the Justice League, even though it was trying to be cleaned up by Joss Whedon, was a mess. That being said, now that we're seeing his full 4-hour cut that's about to come out, because yes, it is 4 hours. For some odd reason, I'm not saying he was trying to compete with In-Game's runtime in about a little over 3 hours, but just saying, 4 hours again. This is where this is honestly, what do you say, Vaughn? Noah Wilson Zach hates himself. Okay. I don't know what that means. But again, guys, it's I'm trying with this. I'm trying. Like I said before, we give everything a fair shot. And I was saying this before. I said it just seems like they're trying to expand a lot about what he couldn't show in Justice League. Okay, I get it. You're trying to expand on the nightmare scenario where Batman was still facing parademons and somehow still involving Superman. We did see scenes of Darkseid, which again, if Zack Snyder was trying to save his filming career, as well as this movie, Steppenwolf should not be the main person. It should be who we all thought we were going to see at the end of Batman vs. Superman. Even though you had crappy Lex Luthor at that time talking about he's coming, and you're thinking, okay, we're finally going to see Darkseid. And we kind of do, but we also see Steppenwolf fighting. Okay, it's a trailer. I understand, it's a trailer. And of course, Joker, like I said, the whole how Joker looks differently than he did in Suicide Squad. And I thought about that. I know a lot of people are going to be going, when did Joker look like this? And I said, this is the part where Zack Snyder is kind of brilliant, but at the same time, he mixes way too many things in. Keep in mind, he's going with the Frank Grimes storytelling of Batman, which is an older Batman, and of course that particular Joker took some elements from a story in Batman's comics called Batman White Knight. Now, if you've never read Batman White Knight, you really should. It's not an Elseworlds tale, but it's kind of like a DC's version of what if we kept running with it for several series. But again, just to give you an idea of what Batman White Knight is. Basically, in this series, the Joker is cured. He's cured of his psychosis, which means basically he winds up working with not Harley, but Harlequin, and basically working as a politician. And basically trying to show Gotham, with Joker being a politician, trying to say that Batman is the sole problem for everything that's happening in Gotham City. in which Joker doesn't even go by the name Joker anymore. He actually goes by his persona, Jack Napier. So it's an interesting storytelling just because you see a sane Joker actually conversing with Batman, and Batman still thinks this whole thing is a joke, or it's a route, or he's like, what's the deeper meaning in all this? And again, it's a comic. You definitely should read it if you have the chance. But that's where that Joker is coming from with the SWAT outfit, because in the actual comics, Joker actually has on the Gotham PD vest, which explains the SWAT. It's just that with Zack Snyder going so many different, he went so many different angles. Again, this is why I say Snyder he worries me by throwing so many elements into a movie and just not making sure the story is sound. And that's just my opinion, but I just look at it's like I said before, it's a trailer. We're just gonna have to watch it on March. I'm gonna watch it on March 18th and give it a fair showing, give it a fair viewing. And if it's better, I'll go ahead and eat my words. I will say it right here now in this podcast. If Zack Snyder's Justice League was better than the first Justice League that's coming out, I will give the man his due. I will take back everything I said. Although I feel very confident that's not going to happen. But again, we'll look forward to that on March 18th. Also, moving on to video games, we don't really have a lot for our new video game releases go. However, there was a rumor about Demon Slayer having a video game, and it looks like it's getting that closer to fruition because this video has been circulated on YouTube and it has been authenticated as real.
すごいよね。
すごい。
ということでまだね、
最高。
デモ版になっておりますので。
ていうかもうアニメがまんま
いや本当に
やばく
動い
ない
てる感じ。すごいな。
めっちゃ綺麗だよ。現在開発中になっておりまして、ちょっと今日ねご準備できたのがこの5キャラになるんですけれども、この中から花江さん、下野さんそれぞれ2キャラずつ選んでいただいて、
どうしよう。
いやでもやっぱここはさ、
ここはまずは
そうだよね。
嘘だろ。どうして俺なの？下野さんどうします？ねずこはどうします？下野さん。
いやいや
取り合ってる。
お兄さんそんな僕はお兄さんに遠慮しますよ。
いいんですかじゃあ。
そう言われるとそれはそれでいやでもいいですよ。
じゃあねずこ。
お。
じゃあねずこで。
兄弟。
いいんですか？
これワイプで抜いてないんだもんな別にな。あ、気遣い。やったー。あ、やばい戻っちゃった。嬉しすぎて戻っちゃった。
だね。行きましょう。行きますか。
全員さんもう今寝てっていう状態。
これは隊員同士はいいんですか？
これ
ご法度
これご法度ですよ。
うわすごい。
すごい。
攻撃かわすこともできるんです。
かっこいい。
いや、でもね、集中してて難しいんですよ。答えてくれない。
すごい。伊之助が助けてくれることでなんか回避できました。
すげえ、ねずこちゃんめっちゃ助けてくれる。ありがとう。
すごい。いけた。すごい。うわねじれるぜ。すごい。なんか操作も割とこうワンボタンで出る技とかもあっていいっすね。
花井君これ攻撃避けられるの？
これはまるで一応こう回避ができるんですけどガードもできます。で炭治郎はつかみが好きなんですよ。これなんで操作をちょっといろいろ覚えてんだよ。さっき習いました。くらえ。なに？待て。ちょっとよっしゃ。やばい。かっこいい。敵役一戦6連。
本物だ。
かっこいい。
聞かせなきゃいけないのに俺。
アニメ。ちょっと変えよう。
すぐ出るな。
伊之助。
Okay, and I'm just going to leave it right there because, like I said, it kind of goes on for an additional 5 minutes. But, again, I know a lot of people look at this and go, and if you played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 5, yes, it looks like a clone. It walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quack, quack. But, again, even with that being said, if that's just the test footage, or that's the beta footage as they call it, I'm sold. Now, yes, it does have every sense of Naruto's Ultimate Ninja Storm, but still, 5 was still the best gaming platform for it, so why not Demon Slayer do the same thing? I'm not mad about that at all. I am not mad about that at all, honestly. But like I said, this is just test footage. Again, we're still in the rumor phase. Nothing has really been confirmed. As far as Demon Slayer have a video game, so again, this might be what they do. I like to call it the Deadpool rule, which means that someone must have sat out there and put out that footage to see what the crowds will do in order to get actual funding. Maybe this is it. Hard to say. I'm kind of hoping it is. But also, before I do get to a trailer that I want to discuss so badly, I must also bring up something that I think is going to make me the elephant in the room today. That Black Lightning's final season so far makes me cringe a little bit. And if you didn't see the trailer for the final season, here you go.
Try to protect my family. It will always end in tragedy. I can no longer be the man I was. Black Lightning was trying to save the world. I'm just trying to save my family.
That was too easy.
Black Lightning's dead.
Freeland would be lost without Black Lightning.
Freeland is lost!
You are a symbol of justice for a city that badly needs it.
Black Lightning. New episodes Monday, February 8th. Free.
Okay, so that was the trailer. Now, I don't know if you guys, if you've been watching, if you've been following Black Lightning, and definitely put the comments at the bottom what you think. I'm just gonna point out, and like I said, this is spoilers. So if you have not seen any episodes from the new season of Black Lightning, now would be the good time to mute me or just find something else to do for the next couple of minutes, because I have been saying this about Black Lightning since the first season. I'm concerned that it hasn't gotten any better. And I'll tell you why. Because so far in this beginning of season, keep in mind this is after season 3 of the Markovian War, but between them and the ASA, Black Lightning fighting Tobias Well and putting him in prison, Lynn actually experimenting with meta powers, Gravedigger, which was actually played by Wayne Brady, which I thought he was really good, and that whole fight, and then of course with Jennifer getting her powers as Lightning, and of course his other daughter Thunder, having her issues as well. Here's the thing where I have issues with it. I kept saying that every season I'm kind of like that person that just has an amnesia. Like, I keep hoping that the next season is gonna be better, and we have lobbied ourselves to season 4, and it's just, like I said, if you haven't seen it, to me, it's the same as season 3. It's the same plot in a way. Wait, say Vaughn, yeah, I stopped after season 1. You're a smarter man than me, but I wanted to give it hope just because I love Black Lightning as a character. I loved him in DC's Young Justice. I kept hoping to save Black Lightning, and I still think it can be saved. And I kept saying this. I got 2 words for Black Lightning. Static Shock. Why in the blue can we not introduce this character to Black Lightning to save this show? Because here's the thing. Nefessa Williams, Lord have mercy. Yeah, you ain't lying there, Vaughn. But aside from Black Lightning, I mean, the issues I have with the current season, Jefferson is mourning because he lost his friend who was the former chief of police, and now he's not putting on the suit, but he's sitting more using his powers in broad daylight. Makes no sense. Jennifer, who is also his youngest daughter, also is Lightning, is kind of like a drug addict. You kind of saw from the scene how she's up in the air and she's basically channeling all the energy around her into her. It's kind of like a high. And for the last 2 episodes, that's all she's been doing. I mean, yes, she's been fighting crime and things of that nature, but she's like a drug addict. She keeps on flying up in the sky, charging herself up, and just riding out the wave. Again, it makes no sense. Now, also another thing that's also annoyed me since season 1 was Jefferson's wife, Lynn, who by far is the most annoying character on the show. I mean, first you're with Jefferson, then you're against him, then, you get on a kick about Greenlight because Greenlight made you think, then you found out you were an addict, then you hop right back on the metagene, which obviously you tried to imitate Gravedigger's powers as far as trying to get people to do whatever he wants to by just simply telling them. it's a mess. It is when I tell you guys it is a mess, it is a mess. And the only thing, and I thought to myself, the only thing out of Black Lightning that I love to watch is Tobias Whale. The actor's name escapes me right now, but the guy who plays Tobias Whale is perfect. That was probably the only casting I didn't have any issues with, because the way he plays Tobias Whale, it's almost like watching Gotham when all you wanted to watch was the Penguin, the guy who played Kingdom, I think it was Robin Lord Taylor, who played Penguin in Gotham, was the only reason I ever watched Gotham. Not for any other character, just for him, just because how well he played Penguin, even though Gotham was still there, even though Gotham's premise about not having a Batman, but all his villains still made no sense, but I digress. But Black Lightning, there is reading Rainbow Drug. Not reading Rainbow Drug, Paul. But seriously, with Black Lightning though, I want it to succeed. Now, the fact that it stayed outside the Arrowverse, which means, and again, that was another issue, because somehow it's outside the Arrowverse, but also they include him in Infinity Crisis, Crisis on Infinite Earths, which now you destroyed every Earth, and now there's only one Earth, and everybody exists on it. How are all these shows not put together? That's all I'm saying. Now, could Black Lightning be saved? Yes, could. If they drastically change the story and actually give us a story. There are so many twists and subplots out there that the main story gets lost. It really does. And I think that's always been Black Lightning's problem, is that you want to do so many sub-stories and subplots that the main story of the entire show gets lost. And that's why you have to have so many cameos, from Jill Scott playing Lady Eve, which I loved, Wayne Brady playing Gravedigger, Painkiller, which again, you let him loose, and apparently he's going to get his own spin-off show. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And just go down the list. You had to include so many new villains and non-villains, and then you don't have and then that's another thing. You don't have the villains anymore. It's like, yes, you have Tobias Whale, that's cool. You have Lala. Again, I can live with that. But where is the other villains? Because Black Lightning still has plenty of other villains, and guess what you could have done for Season 4 to honestly save Season 4? Introduce Static Shock. I guarantee you, if Static Shock was included in Black Lightning would not have a final season. I can guarantee that. Just because the simple fact of the matter is, also, by the way, Static Shock's also available to watch on HBO Max now. You're welcome, in case you didn't know that. But again, Croden. Thank you, Vaughn. I couldn't think of his name to save my life right now, but thank you for that. But I love his character. I love his portrayal of Tobias Whale. I really do. But that's just my gripe. I still watch Black Lightning because I still think it can get significantly better, but it is going to be... It's almost a level of Justice League. It's like, and I hate to say that because, again, I want Black Lightning to succeed, but there's no story. It's just... Character development is just all over the board. That's all the best way I can put that. But with that being said, we're going to move on to the next trailer, which I did kind of jump the gun and show everybody on my Facebook page, but I just like watching it. And we all know what it is. And also, this is Red Band, so again, this is going to be highly graphic if you got kids around.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds. The target had superhuman abilities. It had the same marking you do, Cole.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a great tournament of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation to fight for something known. Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao. Lord Raiden. The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground,
We will not fail.
kill them.
I am Sub-Zero. Get over here!
Kano wins. You fucking beauty.
Y'all. Let me, y'all. Okay. Y'all. Mortal Kombat. I know y'all saw it, but y'all have to understand something. If I've been a Mortal Kombat fan since Sega, okay? And yes, we did have our somewhat, it's a cheesy movie. Let's call it what it was. 1995 was a bad, 1995 wasn't expecting a lot out of video games. I'll be honest about that. But still, we still watch it. And now they have went and have taken Mortal Kombat, and I was just like, I was blown away. Number one, my boy Scorpion, Shirai Ryu with the Lin Kuei of Sub-Zero. You saw the two warring clans. I like the fact that they're trying to tie it in. They're trying to tie Jax's story as far as, you know, him getting his arms, because they never say, because the arms was really more of an experiment within the army. But we're not gonna get into that. But I love the fact of what they're doing. They're not going the traditional route. Now, let's also be honest. When you don't go the traditional route in some video game movies, it tends to get dicey. Look at Street Fighter, and also Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li, and Blood Rain, and Doom. Okay, the point I'm making is just that you take a risk when you go outside of what the video game story is. But it's I love the fact that it's different. It's different, but it's familiar. Like the whole idea of the whole fighting, you know, Raiden himself is not really the general, I guess, not leading the charge. It's more like you see Sonya trying to recruit. Cole, which again, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's going to wind up being Johnny Cage. We don't know that. We don't even know if Johnny Cage is going to be in the movie. We do know from the scenes and what we saw Melina, we saw Goro, obviously, but we really didn't see a lot of the other ones in there. We don't know if, the other fan favorites going to be. We don't know if Jade's going to be in there. We don't know if Kitana's going to be in it. We might see some elements of Shao Kahn. We don't know if we're going to see Nightwolf. We don't know, like I said before, even though it's the first trailer, we don't know what to expect. And I love the fact that it gives me that feeling of just, I want to see it. Now, of course, April 16th, you'll be able to see it in theaters, and because it's done by Warner Brothers, you can also see it on HBO Max. So in case you don't feel like going to the movie theaters and risking COVID, watch it from home. But again, it's like I was telling people, it's like, I know there was an article about Chun-Li, and I thought it was satire, but apparently somebody truly believed that Chun-Li was in Mortal Kombat, and I'm sorry. Somebody needs to learn how to use Google. That's all I'm going to sit there and say. Yeah. And Mario Brothers, Spy Hunter, Max Payne. I was going down the list, Vaughn. I was trying not to, but let's just be honest about that. Scorpion has a cold. Well, I mean, you couldn't expect that. Let's be honest. The get over here that we're used to and the get over here that comes out of that individual, out of Hidori Sanada, I'm okay with that. And the fact of the matter that they had him in the fire garden using the flying kunai, I mean, in just disrespectful. Look, I love a boy Scorpion. I still play with him in Mortal Kombat. But that fight scene they showed in the trailer was disrespectful. And I loved it. And Sub-Zero, again, I'm looking forward to the fight scene because, let's be honest, for a lot of the battles and characters for everybody can remember from Mortal Kombat, the number 1 and number 2s used to be, top 5. I'll say top 5. The top 5 characters that most people do remember from Mortal Kombat is usually Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I mean, you can add Liu Kang and you can add Kung Lao or Sonya or Jax or whoever your playing style is. But let's be honest, everybody remembers Sub-Zero and Scorpion from various games, from various Mortal Kombat games. And the simple fact of the matter is, the whole movement and the fight choreography, I'm hyped. I'm like my boy Vaughn said, I am freaking hyped. There is no other way I can actually put that. So I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I plan to give my review of it come April 16th. I might actually stay up to see when it's available because I really want to watch that movie. And I hope you guys do too. What are you guys saying? I need Grace Jones to play Jade. I can see that. They're using actual moves. Yeah! The fact that you see Scorpion actually uses kunai, you see Sub-Zero actually uses freezing powers, and actually uses it with the slide and actually creating the ice wall and throwing them through it. Yeah, I agree with you, Vaughn. They're using actual moves, and I dig that. So I'm looking forward to it. So the last little bit I got, guys, is basically about WandaVision. Of course, episode 7 actually came out today. And if you haven't seen WandaVision or you haven't caught up, again, this is your spoiler warning before I keep on going with this. So if you still want to watch episode 7 for the next few minutes, you may want to mute me. But if not, I'm just going to show the quick trailer for episode 7, then we're going to talk about it.
Why does it keep switching time periods? It can't be purely for my enjoyment, can it?
Don't miss a moment.
I have everything under control. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. It's probably just a case of the Mondays. Am I right?
Don't do that!
Okay, so that was the trailer for episode 7, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it because I gave everybody the spoiler warning. I'm just going to go into it. I have been saying this. I've been saying this since episode 3, and episode 7 confirms it. Aside from the fact that I did say, now I have to take back one statement. I said that Wanda was the villain in the story, and I was incorrect. I was going to say partially correct, but not really. The reason why I say that is the real villain, so far, revealed themselves today. Her neighbor, Agnes, which I kept saying Agnes was too close to Agatha, who's Agatha Harkness, which is actually a very powerful witch in the MCU. I kept saying there's just something about this, how she always happens to pop up whenever Wanda needs something, or she's in distress, or she's questioning herself. Agnes seems to pop up at the right time. And at the end of episode 7, we do see that Agnes does reveal herself as a witch. And of course, the other scenes show where, she's the one that brought Wanda's brother back to the doorstep. At the time, we were thinking, okay, either Wanda's subconscious brought him back or the twins' powers brought him back. But in this case, it was Agatha. And she's basically, and you can see near the end of the episodes, she basically has her hand in almost everything Wanda's doing. From taking care of the kids to convincing Vision back an episode ago that that she's a part of all of it, when really she's the architect. At the same time, I have another theory about this. That again, with Agatha running the show, I don't think she's the only person. Which I think again, this is going to go into tinfoil hat territory. So bear with me. Of course, in episode 7. You do see Monica's powers. Now, of course, Monica Rambeau, for all those that don't know, she does become Captain Marvel, which also, because of the name moniker, she changes to either Photon and eventually Pulsar. Now, in episode 7, you do see her going back through the portal. You see her going back through the barrier again, and her powers emerge. Even more so in almost the fight with Wanda, you see her kind of using energy manipulation to stop herself from Wanda's blast, and her eyes glow, which is usually a symbol of Photon's powers. So I think that as the story goes on, you're going to start to see her, develop more and more into it. Now, I'm thinking they're going to go with Photon just because of the traditional black and the star in the center, which was actually Photon's outfit. So I'm thinking that she's eventually going to become the hero, the hero Photon in the show. And of course, we know Vision. Vision now realizes that he is going to he realizes more of the situation. Wondering if he's alive or dead. Because of the fact of the matter, he is now realizing that he is dead, but only being kept alive just because of Wanda's ability. Of course, again, guys, like I said about Wanda's ability, she's seen as a nexus, which anybody doesn't know as a nexus person is usually a focal point where all reality surrounds this one person, which in this case, Scarlet Witch's ability is to warp reality as she sees fit. So there's no telling, seeing, Vision, and Vision saying, well, am I alive or dead, and questioning that, but also questioning why Wanda's doing all this. And also I do like in the beginning of the episode 7, they had this Malcolm in the Middle modern family approach where she's talking to the camera, splits off. I thought it was it kind of reminded me of The Office, just a little bit as far as how everybody's talking. But I love that. But I think you can see after episode 7, Wanda is losing it. I mean, with her powers, making things appear, making things older or outdated, going back and forth. And you see Wanda sitting there saying, well, I'm fine. I'm fine. I think I'm fine. When you can almost tell it's like a battle of her subconscious that just is wanting to take over, but she doesn't want to admit it. So I thought that was cool too. Now, again, for the simple fact of Wanda, basically being a part of it and knowing that Agatha is around, it does make you wonder: was Agatha around, which caused this entire town to be taken by Wanda's powers, or was she simply in the town when Wanda decided to take it over after stealing Vision's body from S.W.O.R.D., which we did see in earlier episodes? So you kind of wonder where Agatha kind of steps in this, because is she running the show, or should she have to find herself a part of an opportunity? Because you can easily tell that she is influencing Wanda, and Wanda's powers are just basically hers to use. So again, take it as you will. Now, the other thing I did want to point out, the last part of this episode, I did want to point out, next to last, but of course they did mention, Darcy, who is now in the universe, but of course she's kind of been mind freed by Vision. She actually was still unlocking all of S.W.O.R.D.'s files, and of course you see FBI Agent Randall and his character and Monica as they're driving, which again kind of made me mad because we didn't actually get to see who I thought we would see when they went to go. They said they're going to see an astrophysicist, and we all kind of hoped, it was just not only me, but we all kind of hoped we would see Reed Richards. We were thinking, this is the episode we're going to finally see Reed Richards in the MCU. And this episode didn't mention one iota of that physicist. So it's like, did we meet him? Which I don't think we have. I don't think we have, just because it's such a great opening for a Fantastic Four character to come in and introduce his group to the MCU. That also being said, going back to the file, you see them talk about a file called Cataract, Project Cataract. Now, this brings up another what-if situation. Because keep in mind, the leader of S.W.O.R.D., Hayward, hates Wanda with a vision. And, there's hate, but also at the same time, he doesn't see Wanda as a person. He sees her more as a very destructive weapon. So, again, where Cataract comes into place, again, for all those that don't read Marvel Comics, and if you can, I recommend you should, it does go into the Secret Invasion, of course, in this case, with the Kree. Now, this is a guess. I have two guesses about who Hayward really is. Because number one, I don't think Hayward is a human. I think Hayward is either a Kree. He's either a Kree that's trying to actually take down Wanda just because of her powers, or, and this is an or moment, Hayward is Mephisto. Now, you've heard me say Mephisto beforehand. He's basically the character whose Wanda subsequently drew power from him to create the twins at the time, creating Wiccan and Speed at the time. And of course, Mephisto, realizing this, takes back his essence and of course, basically snaps them out of existence, if you will. So again, I'm thinking it's possibly that. And there's also another possibility which no one else has probably thought of. I'm sorry, not everybody, because this name was also thrown around in the Reddits and then the chats of Marvel, that Nightmare is somewhere in there. Of course, Nightmare is a Doctor Strange villain, which again sets up this whole wonderful world MCU has brought us. That, of course, we know Doctor Strange's next movie, Multiverse of Madness, will somehow include WandaVision. We also know that the untitled Spider-Man movie will somehow include WandaVision. So again, it's not to be off that Nightmare may still be somewhere in there. Of course, Nightmare was one of Dr. Stephen Strange's strongest villains, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is Hayward as well. It's, like I said, it's all right now, because if Disney follows its 8-episode rule, we're 1 episode away from the season finale of WandaVision. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes with it, as far as who is what. I still say my money is Hayward is Mephisto. That's the only way I can think about it. I do know Nightmare has to be somewhere in WandaVision. I don't think he's a sword official. I think somewhere along the lines he is somewhere in the Westview village that Wanda's got controlled. But you guys let me know what you think. What do you guys say? Hey honey, Proton can see the Nexus. Yeah. Photon. Yeah, I know what you meant, honey. Looks like she found an opportunity. Yeah, you're exactly right. But here's also another thing, guys. If you, like I said, if you still listen to me, and hopefully you guys like me, and you kind of wait to see what's at the end, there was a post-credit scene in episode 7.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
Okay, and I had to cut off right there because that's actually going to go into something else. But this is the reason why I'm sitting there saying, guys, of course you see Monica, but she's basically still in the community, and comes across Agatha's basement, which you can obviously tell has been influenced by her. And of course, Pietro, who is still an Agatha clone, if you will, is still around. So, like I said before, if episode 8 is a season finale for WandaVision's first season, it is going to be interesting. And I do mean utterly interesting to see where they go to it from there. But like I said, I think I think Agatha ate the kids. Wouldn't be surprised, but I think because I want to say she's probably realized the kids have powers, maybe. But I don't know. I can't say I don't know if she ate the kids or not. But I would not be surprised by that. What else do you guys say? She's from Salem. Also, from what I read, her son is a Fantastic Four villain. Yeah. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name off the bat to save my life, but you're right. Like I said, it's just going to be interesting. But that's really all that I got, guys, for this. So I do thank everybody that was for watching. Some shameless plug before I do get out of here. I've decided, of course, the link that you see at the bottom is the link to all of my shows. Let's try it again. So the link at the bottom, I am having a terrible time right now. The link at the bottom is a link that goes to all of my shows. So that goes from the Burned Out Podcast, How the Friend We Got Here, Git Bit, and the Elephants Podcast, and their Facebook groups are all in one link. So if you just copy and paste that into your browser, and you'll be able to go to every one of those sites. Just like, share, and subscribe is all I ask. And also let me know if you liked the show. If you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, then just let me know. I'm just trying to build this platform better for everybody to enjoy. Aside from that, like I said before, my scheduling has changed this year. I decided to change it. Of course, every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. is the Burned Out Podcast, in which I tell stories from an IT background about dealing with the public. If you've worked in customer service, you've worked in retail, and you've dealt with the public and definitely have some special stories, then you're going to love exactly my podcast because it's meant to be funny. And if you find it funny, then great. And if not, then you need to lighten up because I'm probably talking about you. Of course, also on Wednesdays from 8 to 10 p.m. is the midweek edition of How the Fuck We Got Here, which is my weekly political podcast, and it includes political news as well as U.S. news during the week, in which we try to make sense out of it all. And of course, we recap that back on Saturdays with the weekend edition of that show from 10 a.m. to noon. And of course, every Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. is the Git Bit Podcast you're currently watching right now. And later on Saturday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. is the Off Limits Podcast. As the name implies, we do talk about anything and everything, and we are not scared to go there. But all of my shows and the links thereof can be found within my little mega link at the bottom. Just copy and paste it, like, share, and subscribe, and just let me know what you think. And also share it with your friends, because, if they're into Git Bit greatness like I'm doing, let them know. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no nerds get together when nerds unite. Aside from that, guys, I do have a travel service. Yes, your boy does have a travel service. Uncle Obi's Adventures and More can be found on Facebook. I can book travel, whether it's locally or internationally. If you just need to get away, if you need to get away from the kids, get away from the house, get away from the state, or maybe just need to get away overseas, let me know. Let me be that person that can work harder for you to get the better deals, better than what Travelodge, Expedia, and all them other sites can do. But let me do it because I can do it for you better and more efficiently, and try to save you some money. Because in this day and age, we all need to save a little bit of money. So let me do that for you. Also, with Uncle Obi's Adventures and More, I do have a $100 referral, which means that if you send people to me and they book travel with me, and once they book it, I will pay you $100. Yes, I will pay you $100, simply put, because you referred somebody to me, because I do believe in paying it forward. So those referrals have no limits at the same time, and there is no restrictions, whether they rent, if it's a hotel, it's a rental car, airfare, all the above. As long as they book with me, you get paid. And also, just like I said, check us out, Uncle Obi's Adventures and More. We just don't sell travel, we sell great memories. Now, let me also talk about my brother from a different mother, Vaughn, Big VZA Dot on Facebook. Let's see, there he is. Oh, nope, there I am. And yeah, this is going great. So Big VZA Dot on Facebook, because he was just in here not too long ago chatting up with me. So if you, he actually will be returning with his podcast pretty soon. So if you would like, definitely go to his page and like, share, and subscribe, and then go to his video section to see his videos that he has available of his podcast. I'll start with the first one called the VST Intercast. The VST Intercast is a news podcast. That news can be music, video games, or trailers, as he loves to show. Interactive show just like mine. He also has another show for the purposes of this podcast. We're going to call it RAF. Now, what is RAF? RAF is the pool of wretchedness we sometimes are told to take a break from life and have a chuckle. If you like America's Funniest Home Videos, it's basically it's like America's Funniest Home Videos, if by World Star. But it's meant to be funny, it's meant to relax you, because again, we all need some relaxation before the week, and that's what RAF is all about. He also has another podcast I'm looking forward to coming back called the Rhythmness Podcast. You can rent us over the rhythm, in which himself and others like us will listen to music that he may bring up, or he may ask us to bring, and we just discuss it, see if we like it or not. We're all different on the musical scales, but differences in musical taste lead to great conversations, and that's what the Rhythmless Music Podcast is all about. And last but not least, he does have a pop-up show called Funkin' Around, in which he makes beats like this one. I think this is the more recent one today. Let's see. Nope, but we'll play it anyway. Alright, and that's all you get, because any more of that you gotta pay. Vaughn does like to make beats. He is a musical genius, and also he likes to show his process from beginning to end. So if you are interested in seeing that creative process, or you're interested in buying beats, yes, Vaughn does sell his beats. So if you are interested, then definitely let him know on Facebook. But also like, share, and subscribe all of his content, because like I said, I'm looking forward to when he comes back, because I know there's a lot of stuff out there that he has an opinion about, and I can't wait to hear it. Now, as far as that, guys, that's really all that I have. I just want to say thank you all, and like I said before, I hope every one of you, wherever you're at, that you're warm, that you're safe, and that you're dry. And also, if you're able to help somebody tonight that might be in dire straits in those situations, because like I said, Old Man Winter snuck up on a lot of the southern states this week. So if you're able to help somebody, great. But above all else, please stay safe. Keep in mind, COVID-19 is still out there. Still wear a mask. Still distancing. Be safe. Things of that nature. Thank you, thank you all those in the medical profession that works in hospitals, you doctors, nurses, environmental services, and everybody else that works in hospitals for all the stuff you do. And you essential people. I hate saying essential workers. You essential people. The people that actually still find a way to get into work, even though a lot of us do work from home, and that's a luxury, and that's great, but a lot of us are not able to. But thank you guys that are still going in and keeping the lights on for the rest of us. I am talking about those that work in industry services, such as industrial, electrical, plumbing, things of that nature, construction. Those that work in gas stations, grocery stores. Those that are truck drivers. Those that are work with customer service. Those that actually work in areas in warehouses like Amazon, and those that work in logistics like United States Postal Service, DHL, FedEx, UPS, and all those other areas. Thank you really for all that you do, because again, I wish we could do more, but we can always acknowledge the things that you do. And like I said, a thank you will never not be turned down. Aside from that, guys, that's really all that I have. I thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and I hope to see you guys on the next sort of podcast that I have. I think the Off Limits and How the Fuck We Got Here tomorrow. Aside from that, guys, be safe, take care of each other. We'll get through this. Peace.